Part 4. I'd like to tell you the story that eventually allowed me to find out that I could teach accent reduction. So you remember I told you I went to Ethiopia to teach, then I went to Hollywood to teach there, not to teach there, to work there. And then I came back to Vancouver, 1991, and I got a job downtown Vancouver working for the local actors union. All the actors in Vancouver belong to a union. And part of my job was to work with American producers who came up to Vancouver to make their movies. It's much cheaper to make a movie in Vancouver than Los Angeles. We have beautiful scenery. We don't have to pay the actors or the crews as much. But one day in 1997, I got a call from an American producer who I knew very well. He said, "Andy, we are not going to hire any Vancouver actors for our movie because they speak this Canadian language and we don't like the way they speak." I remember saying, "Robert, what are you talking about? What do you mean Canadian?" He said, "I think they speak too fast, much faster than we do, and their words are clipped or short." He said he would rather than listen to an actor audition, he would rather have them run their fingernails down a blackboard. Can you see on the left, there's a picture of an old blackboard. If you're younger, you don't even know what a blackboard is. You have a whiteboard. But old guys like us, the teachers, used blackboards. He said they speak too fast. I'm going to teach you later. President Obama was a great speaker. I even voted for him when he said these words: "It's time for change." Very beautiful. Somebody figured out that when Obama spoke, he averaged only about 94 words in 1 minute. It's time for change. Stephen Harper, the former Prime Minister of Canada, it's time for change. It's time for change. It's time for change. 165 words, almost double President Obama. So here's what this producer said: "Andy, look, you speak American just like I do. You grew up in San Francisco, you lived in Los Angeles. You speak American just like I do. You need to try and figure out what you're doing so you can teach these kids how to speak American." I thought for a minute, I don't know how I speak. I remember thinking, but I stopped in the middle of a sentence because it says, "At first, Andy had no idea how he spoke. I just did it." But then I realized, it says, then he quickly realized that I talked exactly like my father. My father was born in San Francisco. He brought us up here when he was about 30. He always has spoken San Francisco American. This producer said, "Andy, you speak Americans, and I speak exactly like my father, 100% like my father." So I was living near my father. I called him. I said, "Dad, I'm coming over." And I remember walking into his house and saying, "Dad, what is it about the way we talk?" For the first time in my life, I did something that I'd never thought about before. I went, "Dad, what is it about the way we talk?" Can you do that? I want you to jam your tongue up on your palate. Duh, duh, duh. Open your mouth and go, "Dad." Ready? Dad. Make a little circle with your lips. What is it? Do it again. What is it about? Look how my lips come together. About the way we talk. Do it again. Dad. What is it about the way we talk? So it took about 15 minutes because it was very obvious that when we both spoke American without thinking, we were putting, my lips just came together, putting our tongue and lips in certain positions, which I will show you, to bring in a little bit of air, push out air to make every word have a long vowel. Let's see what it says here. So we were putting our tongue and lips in certain positions. We brought in a little bit of air every time we said a word. We didn't just say why, we went why. We brought in air, We pushed out the air to make every word have a long vowel. And here are the positions that my dad and I figured out. We open our mouth. I want you to copy me. Open your mouth. After, easy, is, out, up. Can you feel air come in? Let's do it again. Ready? After, easy, is, out, up. How about B, M, and P? My lips come together. B, M, P. Not just down like this, but out here. Best, mention, patient. Do it again. Best. Look out, my hand is just going here. My fingertips are in control. I'm not doing it here. And my hand doesn't go out of the picture. Just hold it here. Let's do it again. Best. Best. Mention. Mention. Patient. Patient. CKG comes from the neck. Listen. Can. Kick. Gone. What do you hear? Long vowels. That's the secret. Ready? Can. Kick. Gone. Does, John. DJNT. My tongue goes up at 45 degrees. Does. Just. Nice. That's not nice, that's night. Night. Time. Do it again. Does. Just. Nice. Time. F and V. Top teeth and bottom lip. Let me do it first. Fast. Famous. Very. Visitor. Get ready. Fast. Famous. Very. Visitor. H comes from the chest. Hate. Ready? Hate. Hate. Ready for handsome. Handsome. Ready for have. Have. L, my tongue goes behind my top teeth. My mouth is almost closed. No, just up here, behind the teeth. Ready? Love. Like. Like. Lost. Lost. Good. RSY is R before an R, S before an S, Y before a Y. Ready? Reason. Sign. Soon. Yes. Yellow. Let's do it again. Ready? Reason. Reason. Sign. Sign. Soon. Soon. Yes. Yes. Yellow. Yellow. W. Make a little kissing position. I can put a pen in there or a straw. Let's get ready for Y. Ready? Y. Where? Where. Ready for who? Who. TH. Tongue goes under the top teeth. Just the tip. Not too much, just a little. They. Keep your lip away. They think that. Do it again. They think that. So in 15 minutes, my father and I were able to figure out these tongue and lip positions. They will allow you to speak without your accent. So what do we learn? We make a position, we bring in a little bit of air, we push out the air to make every word have a long vowel. So Andy went to his boss the next day. I remember I took that piece of paper with all the positions we just did, and I got permission to start teaching the Canadian actors how to speak American. Just show them the tongue and lip positions, bring in air, push out air, make the long vowel, and I started to teach them how to speak Canadian. There's the first class. Just Canadian speakers. And then something amazing happened. There was a knock on the door. And a large black man from West Africa named Francis knocked on the door. I knew him. I said, "Hi, Francis." He said, "Andy, I want to come to your class." I thought, I can't teach a guy from Africa. I wouldn't know what to do. But it was a very, very cold day outside. I said, "Francis, have a seat." I let him sit. He came back the next day. I'm not sure why, because I never taught him anything. And the next day, at the end of the third day, he raised his hand and he went like this, just like I was teaching him in the class. "Andy, I think I'm able to speak without my accent." Do it. Open your mouth. Look how wide I am for a vowel. Andy, I think I'm able to speak without my accent. That was February 1997, and there's Francis. He's a wonderful man, and he speaks totally without his accent. You can see him sitting in my class. That's not the first day, because it was really cold outside. He would have had a very heavy jacket on. So that is the end of part 4. I've been doing a lot of speaking I'll be speaking less in the next group of what are they? PowerPoints. Thank you very much. End of part 4. Chapter 8. 5 important parts of accent reduction. Speak more slowly and say words more slowly individually. I'll explain what that means. When you speak more slowly, number 2, you have time to put your tongue and lips in the exact right position. We just did those positions. You need to make them perfect. Number 3, then you need to bring in a certain amount of air. With your hand, kind of scoop up a little air and then push that air out. There's always the same amount of air coming in as there is going out. Number 4, you push out the air to make the long vowel. Speak more slowly. Feel, make the right position. Bring in a little bit of air, hold that position, push the air out to make the long vowel. So, speaking more slowly. Learning that when you speak 2 words, you'll also learn the first word is short and the second word is long. When you do 3 words, it's short, short, long. When you do any words, they're always the same length. We'll talk about that in a minute. And lastly, you'll learn how to group 1, 2, or 3 words together. Never guessing, but very specific. Also, you will learn how to speak all of your words individually more slowly than you do now. You will learn to always speak like you are thinking about what you are saying. You will learn when to say 1 word or 2 words or 3. It's never random. It's always exact. Let's say some sentences of President Kennedy and see how he did them. If you concentrate on the first letter of each word, it will help you say the words more slowly. Great speakers are known for saying their words more slowly. That doesn't mean just speaking more slowly, but saying every word kind of slow, not too slow, but slower. Here's what President Kennedy, actually I'm going to read it really fast. We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom. The words don't matter. I just said it in 2 seconds, but he says it in 9. He goes like this. We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom. Let's do it together. We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom. He basically said, we won the election in 1960 today, but that's not really important. What is important that we had a free election. If I just spoke more slowly, it would be good. But if I'm making every word kind of slow, it's really much better. Let's see what it sounds like. I'm going to cut it off as soon as he finishes this sentence. Let's do it again. We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom. If I go up to heaven one day and I meet President Kennedy and I say, sir, it was a great honor to teach my students how to speak like you. You spoke with beautiful long vowels. You paused. You said every word slowly. He would say, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about at all. He doesn't know what he's doing. He just does it in a beautiful way. I hope you enjoy listening to this great man and this great speaker. I can find the thing. Come on.
We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom.
Pretty good. He has a slight Boston accent. Wish I had a chance to teach him. Let's see if you can do these words, saying them slowly. Let me do it first, then you're going to do with me. I don't have. Can we see? 2 big apples. I know that. If you can. His best friend. He feels better. She doesn't cry. Just his usual way. We won't drive his car. If you ever, in January, we love Lucy. Same. Will be 10. Many reasons. He said yes. Let's do it together. I don't have. Can you see? Can we see? 2 big apples. 2 big apples. I know that. I know that. If you can. If you can. His best friend. His best friend. He feels better. He feels better. She doesn't cry. Ready? She doesn't cry. Just his usual way. Just his usual way. He won't drive his car. He won't drive his car. If you ever, ready? If you ever, in January, we love Lucy. We love Lucy. Sane. Will be 10. Or will be 10. Many reasons. Ready? Many reasons. He said yes. Or he said yes. So we try to make every word, especially the third word of 3, or the second word of 2, or one word by itself, nice and gentle. You will learn that when you say one word, the length is 100%. When you say 2 words, the first word is short, only 10%. The second is 90%. For 3 words, it's 10, 10, 80. You will learn to pause in between words. In the beginning, about 3 seconds. Later, it'll go down to 2. So let's just look at this. Every word we say, or words we say in a group, are the same length. Let me do it first. Look, 2 letters. He, 7. He hasn't. 10. He hasn't had. 1. I, graduated, has 9. Graduated. Lackadaisical has 13. Lackadaisical. Wasn't conscious has 14. Wasn't conscious. So it's very important that as you speak, you feel like every time you move your hand to say 1, 2, or 3 words, it's always the same length. Ready? He hasn't. He hasn't had. I, graduated. Lackadaisical, wasn't conscious. One more time. He hasn't. He hasn't had. I, graduated. Lackadaisical, wasn't conscious. So how can that be? Well, it is. So you just have to make sure that when you speak, everything you say when you move your hand is the same length. That's the end of the chapter.